lightning, and about to undergo the transformation to 100,000 years, along with his violent gravity look. Like a burst dam, was frantically drained by the fragment hammer. The Titan giant ape let out the most piercing scream in his history. His domain that could control gravity hadn't even had time to unfold before he found the soul power within his body, draining away at an inconceivable speed. Ming, the distant Tianking ox serpent, finally sensed something wrong. His colossal body suddenly lunged, opening a blood-red maw. A cyan beam of light filled with destructive aura shot straight toward my back. Withering curse, I didn't pull out the hammer. My left hand grabbed at the void and took a small portion of the Titan giant ape's blood essence I had just devoured, mixed with the curse law, directly forming a gray-black barrier. The cyan beam struck the barrier, but instead of exploding, it was like water splashed on sandy ground, rapidly corroded and dissolved. But the Tianking ox serpent's cold fury strike was too powerful after all. The backlash still made my throat sweet, and I spat out a mouthful of blood. Yet this blood was worth it, devouring 100,000 years of the Titan giant ape's life essence. The bottleneck of the 40th rank was forcibly broken. Soul power surged to the 41st rank, 45th rank, 50th rank, gaining the gravity control law. The remnants of the broken chaos realm howled. The fifth fissure was 20% repaired. The Titan giant ape's mountain-like body shrank wildly beneath my feet. Its once glossy black fur turned into withered, dry grass. It even lost the strength to resist, only able to let out feeble gasps. If I didn't stop, in 10 more seconds, this overlord of the Star-Dew Great Forest would become a dried-up specimen. But I couldn't take it all, because the Azure Bull Python's massive horns were already less than 10 meters away. The desperate fury of a 100,000-year soul beast. I couldn't withstand it in my current state. You got lucky. I yanked the shattered hammer out violently, with a *PFFD sound, and a sickening tear of flesh. I pulled out a large mass of pure, dark golden origin blood essence. Just as the Azure Bull Python was about to shatter my body, I activated Spatial Fold, again *whoosh*. My entire form vanished from the Titan giant ape's back, leaving behind only an unfathomably deep, gaping wound oozing with gray-black withering curse. Human, no matter where you flee to the ends of the earth, the Star-Dew Great Forest will hunt you to the death. The Azure Bull Python, seeing its companion on the verge of death, and drained of all origin essence, let out a furious roar that shook the entire forest. Meanwhile, I had already appeared in a hidden cave 100 miles away. I was drenched in blood, but my eyes blazed with an astonishing light. I was exhilarated. I looked at the Chaos Realm shattering hammer in my hand, half of which now shimmered with a divine luster, and felt the terrifying law within me. With just a thought, I could instantly increase the gravity in the surrounding tens of meters 100-fold. I hadn't absorbed any flashy soul rings, but behind me, besides that deep gray soul ring, another terrifying dark golden phantom had appeared. It was the drained origin of the Titan giant ape transformed. Tangsan, oh Tangsan. I took a deep breath. Hold back that boiling soul power inside you. Your immortal herbs are gone. Your Titan giant ape lackey is probably barely breathing by now. His cultivation regressed by tens of thousands of years. Next time we meet, will you have already fallen to the point of fighting for scraps with those 10-year soul beasts? I walked out of the cave, looking at the thunderclouds slowly dispersing in the night sky. Next, it was time to head to Heaven Dew City. There I'd find the 7 treasures glazed tile sect, said to be the richest on the continent, and that angel disguised by the swan martial soul. Since I was going to defy this ridiculous fate, I didn't mind stirring this muddy water even more. Heaven Dew City. I walked along the marble-paved streets. The air was thick with expensive ambergris, and the cloying, nauseating perfume of the nobles, compared to the primal bloodshed of the Star-Dew Great Forest. This place was rotten like a rotten apple, wrapped in gold leaf. I wore a loose, dark hawksbill robe, moving through the bustling crowd. My level 50 chaos soul power was tightly compressed deep within my meridians. From the outside, I looked like an ordinary person with no soul power fluctuation. After half a month of settling, the violent origin I had drained from the Titan giant ape was now fully digested. Now, even facing soul emperors or soul saints, I could use spatial laws and gravity control to grind them into the ground. But I didn't come to Heaven Dew City to fight. I came to stock up the Heaven Dew Royal Auction House. In its warehouses, were piled high with top-grade ores, rare soul bones, and even antiques bearing fragments of ancient laws, all plundered by nobles and sects. I handed over a low-grade soul bone I'd picked up casually in the Stardew Great Forest as an entry fee and walked straight into the VIP section on the second floor. The auction was already at its climax. On the stage, a scantily clad auctioneer was shouting hoarsely, introducing a palm-sized. The entire surface gleamed with an eerie, ghostly blue metal. Distinguished guests, this is a piece of deep-sea silver screen, harvested from the extreme northern depths. Its hardness is enough to withstand a full-force strike from a soul saint. It is an exceptional material for crafting top-tier soul tools and hidden weapons. The starting bid is 100,000 horror coins. Deep-sea silver mother. This stuff, in the original story, it's the core material Tangsen used to forge the rainstorm pear blossom needles. But right now, the chaos fragment hammer inside me let out a greedy hum. In my perception, within that so-called silver mother, lay a thread of pure, solid law. 100,000, 120,000, 500,000, from the most luxurious box one on the second floor. A gentle yet unyielding voice rang out. That was Ning Fengjai, the sect master of the Seven Treasures Glazed Tile sect. Beside him, likely sat the sharp-edged sword Duluo. The entire hall fell dead silent. No one dared to compete with the Seven Treasures Glazed Tile sect, whose wealth rivaled nations. 500,000 once, 500,000 twice. The auctioneer's face flushed with excitement. He raised his gavel to strike. Sorry for the trouble of shipping. I'll take it myself. I sat in the shadows of a corner. A cold smirk curled at the corner of my mouth. My right hand clenched into a hammer beneath my wide sleeve. Dark silver runes flared instantly. Space fractured and stacked. Chaos devoured. Without warning, on the display stand, the deep-sea silver screen, protected by a dense array, suddenly warped on its surface, as if bitten by an invisible abyssal beast. That indestructible, peerless metal, under the gaze of thousands of eyes, instantly weathered and snapped, turning into a pile of gray-white powder, scattered across the stand, and that pure thread of solid law had already, through a spatial rift, steadily fallen into my fragment hammer, filling a tiny crack on its surface. Thud, the auctioneer's wooden hammer hit the floor. He stood dumbfounded. Inside the box, a fiercely sharp sword intent surged skyward, instantly locking onto the entire auction house. That was the pressure of sword Duluo Chenzing, who dares to play tricks before the Seven Treasures Glazed Tile sect. The sword intent swept through like a tsunami. But I was prepared. Within half a second of the devouring, I had already activated Void Sword, Moonbreaker. My entire form turned into a gray line, and I vanished straight out of the auction house, melting into the tangled back alleys of Heaven Dew City. The Seven Treasures Glazed Tile, sex money sure is easy to fool. I walked down a dark alley, feeling the subtle increase in my fragment hammer's weight. Just as I was about to find a place to settle, my steps suddenly halted. At the end of the alley stood a person. He looked like a youth of only 15 or 16, dressed in a luxurious, snow-white ceremonial robe, his golden hair meticulously combed, his features handsome to the point of being almost eerie. He carried an innate nobility and calm. Heaven Dew Empire's crown prince, Zuking, or rather, the Spirit Hall's young master, Kayan Rengsu. Impressive technique, sir. Zuking wore a gentle smile, hands clasped behind his back, to snatch something from right under Sword Duluo's nose, without leaving a trace of soul power fluctuation. If not for this subordinate of mine, who is extremely sensitive to spatial disturbances, I fear I wouldn't have found you. In the shadows behind him, two unfathomable auras faintly emerged. Two soul Duluo level guards, the serpent lance and the pufferfish. Your Highness, instead of drinking tea with the sect master at the auction, you come to this stinking gutter to corner me. A nobody, what's taken a liking to me? I met his gaze calmly, showing no panic at being surrounded. The Heaven Dew Empire is in need of talent. Zuking took 2 steps closer. His tone was sincere. Your abilities are as rare as phoenix feathers and Killen horns across the entire continent. If you are willing to pledge your loyalty to me, money, status, titles, even cultivation resources, I, Zuking, can grant them all to you. This recruitment speech he delivered with utter naturalness, the hypocrisy cultivated by a long-time ruler. But I had no interest in being his dog. What resources can you give me? I